Time to embrace the tank.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome on to another edition here of the Patriots Touchback Podcast. It's me, your host, Carl. I'm joined as ever by Nick and DJ. Luke will be joining us in the next few minutes or so. And Nick's hamster is going full tilt again today by the looks of it. Good to see you, mate. Gentlemen, first of all, how are you?
Tank and starting, isn't it? The tank has started. Engine is revving.
To the weekend.
Yeah, tanks are starting. They're revving up, and we're building a very ferocious one at that. Now sitting at 2-7. This season's been an absolute disaster, we could all safely say. So, New England 17, Washington Commies 20. This guy here was the only one who decided it was a good idea to choose Washington over New England. Apologies, but this team is bad. So bad. Before we get on with the dissecting and we unleash hell on our beloved Patriots, make sure you're smashing the like button video. You hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Follow us on our podcast on Spotify. Tell all your friends. But the New England Patriots are now 2-7. And now we move into the Frankfurt game looking so poor. I'm not going to start with this. I'm going to let Nick take the floor with this one. Because there is so much wrong. You said in the group chat there is absolutely nothing to be positive about throughout this entire game. The floor is yours, Nick.
Thank you. Right, where to start at the beginning, I guess. We were inconsistent offensively. We were overmatched on defense. We picked up far too many penalties on special teams. We were sloppy throughout the entire game, front to back. At attack, defense, just everything was the fundamentals that have for 2 decades. The Patriots, it's been do your job, know your job, and do it. The fundamentals that have put the Patriots to where they have gone, that they've been all over everywhere. It's just the team we're watching at the moment is not the Patriots of old, and you can get some fans that are moaning about how we're terrible and it's not like the old days and whatever else, but you have to move with the times. And if you look at how the NFL has changed over the past certainly 3 years, maybe going back 5 years, it's a completely different game. The military style of Bill's sort of Patriot way, if you like, that doesn't work anymore. It's gone. Those days have gone. Players don't want to, give their all to this military precision, that give everything up and give everything to the cause. That's not how, coaches are getting younger, coaches are getting cleverer, and Bill's just stuck in his way, trying to do whatever he wants to do, not actually moving with the times. And until he actually does that, and until he actually changes, nothing's going to change at the franchise unless he gets sacked, which he won't.
I mean, it can't get any worse for Belicheck now, surely. I mean, you sit at 2-7, you move into the Frankfurt game against the Colts this Sunday. I mean, you if we do lose that game and go 2-8, I mean, it's looking more and more likely that, you know, we know Belichick has signed a new multi-year contract, but I don't think it's over a case of over 2, 3, 4 years about that. I generally think that, well, according to Tom Cohen, apparently it expires towards 2024. And remember, Kraft will have the final say in this. Remember what the NFL is. It's not what you have done, it's what have you done for me lately. And Belichick has done pretty much nothing since Brady's gone. He's an under 500 head coach, and this team
Sorry, Carl, your mic's gone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been watching this team since 2010, but this team this year is fundamentally the worst I have ever seen. It's bland, it's boring. There's no a prime example, guys. I actually sat down to watch a little bit of the Chiefs Dolphins game in Frankfurt this weekend just gone. All I saw the Dolphins and the Chiefs do was just a lot of motion, a lot of intrigue in different plays and that sort of thing, and it just felt so easy, well, so nice and easy on the eye. And then you switch over to the Pats game, and it's like there's no motion, there's no one running different routes. It's just the same plays over and over again. And when you are becoming one-dimensional at times. And it's just been it's not a good view. Luke, good to have you on, mate.
Sorry, I'm late. How are you?
No worries at all. What's your take on this game? Because Nick's had his say. What do you want to say on this, mate? Because we could be here all night talking how crap this team is, but guess what? That's just beating the dead horse.
I think they were playing a team in the Commanders that are tanking the same way we are. They played a team that should be tanking the way that we should be tanking. They played a team that was better than them, had more talent. I don't want to say better coached, had definitely a better quarterback and had better weapons also around him. I thought we were going to lose. We did. I thought the scoreline flattered us. I didn't think we were as good as a 3-point loss suggested. I thought we were quite poor. So when I say quite poor, obviously we're quite poor. We were poorer than the scoreline suggested. I think they could have easily had more points. I think if we don't have, how many times have we had a run like that from Ramondre this season? It's the first one, really. In 8 games, that's an aberration, not a trend. If we hadn't had that run, I think it would have been more. The scoreline would have been probably more apt, if you know what I mean. It would have been 20 to 10, and I think that's probably about fair. I just think at the moment there's nothing there really to be excited about on the roster. I think the quarterback. I've given my thoughts on the quarterback. I won't go too much into it. And the rest of the team, I think there's a couple of decent players in there, but they're kind of the guys that they're your second level guys. They're your players that you don't want to be, I would say, relying on as your stars. They're a good second class. I think there's a decent nucleus of those guys. There's 0 top end talent though. That's the problem. I think we have 2 top end talent guys. And that's Gonzalez and Judon, and they're both on IR.
Yep, I completely 100% agree with you on that. DJ, What about you? Because during this game, there was just so much. There was so much wrong here. You would generally think of all the teams that New England should try and put some points on, you would think it would be against this Washington team because their two best pass rushers are now traded away. They didn't land a single sack on us. I think they landed like a total like 3 or 4 pressures all game.
Yeah.
And once again, it was glaringly obviously either the receivers. Once again, they couldn't catch coronavirus if they tried.
Yeah, obviously I had them down as taking a win, but like I think Luke touched it at the very beginning, it's down to that do your job status that does not exist anymore. The discipline of the flags, of the plays, that it's just not the common way that we know how to play football. Special teams was atrocious last night. I think they were the worst out of the whole 3 parts of that of the team. Every time we needed to try and get a field goal to try and get into range, they would punt us around the 20-30s, and then we'll end up going back even more because of the stupidity fags and plays. Schooler, I think he did 2 of them when he was just holding when the guy had already gone past him. Like, you don't need to be doing that. I thought the running game, except from that massive Stevenson run, there was no running game whatsoever again. So if you was to take away that 60-yard run, you'd make that, 40 yards tops for both running backs? It's just not.
Yeah,
not
because Andre Simmons' 64-yard touchdown was basically on a busted coverage.
Yeah. The wide receivers don't seem to get open. They don't know how to catch balls. It's just a poor all round. I've really had enough right now. Really had enough. I'd fucking sack them all. Just get rid the whole offense. Bye. Start from again.
I mean, New England's 3rd and 4th down conversions was atrocious. 4 for 14. Just absolutely poor. But
if we don't go this draft with 7 offensive on the offense side of things, I'll be very surprised if we don't. If we start going top 5 and get a defensive guy in.
Oh no, there'll be anarchy. There will be absolute anarchy in the Patriots fan base. There really would be. But here's the thing, right? The Commanders, on their 3rd down conversions, they were 9 of 17. So over half of their 3rd downs they converted. And one of them incredibly pissed me off in the 3rd quarter, and that was the 3rd and 23.
Yeah.
What happened to our defense not being able to tackle? How have you managed?
Because Howell is a better player and he knows how to control the pocket. He's comfortable. He seemed comfortable in what he was doing, which is what we don't.
Last week, Nick, DJ, what did I describe Sam Howell as? Who did I compare him to?
Can't remember.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And he is. He's very stocky. He's got a decent arm, not a powerful arm, but he's got a decent arm on him. And
knows how to use his legs.
Knows how to use his legs, and he actually plays with his, not a chip on the shoulder, but plays with his heart on his sleeve. And he was brilliant for over 300 yards. He was actually fantastic. And here's the bit I'm really annoyed about, okay? He was took in the same draft, in the same round, as when we took Bailey Zappi. We took Bailey Zappi before Washington took Sam Howell. Once again, our GM just hasn't got a clue who to draft.
There was a point where he threw that interception in the end zone, which was stupid of him because he could have ran that ball a couple of times and get closer, but he just decided to try and be all mighty God and just throw it where he wanted to, but it got picked off. But that could have been even worse. It could have been 27.
Yeah, that was
easy.
That was a dumb throw by somehow.
That was.
I was like, you gave Carl Duggar, and again, back-to-back interceptions now for Carl Duggar.
Just before half-time.
Yeah, probably our only defensive man has actually done a half D. Can hold his head up high walking off the pitch.
I think just going back to
just adding to that. Sorry, go on.
No, it's just on the defensive side. I think when this kind of performance was coming, just simply because when your offense stops being able to move the ball and you're going out on defense constantly, you're constantly having to go out and play. You're going to get tired. You're also going to lose heart. Like with the best will in the world, no matter how much money you're being paid, at some point you go, what is the point? If we're not, we can play our best, and we can do our best, and it's still not going to be good enough. We're still not going to win the game or even come close to winning the game. The only way we're going to score points really is through turnovers and setting up short field positions, which is how we scored yesterday. I mean, if we have 2 touchdowns yesterday, and people look at the box score and say, "Hey, Mac Jones, not a bad game," and then you realize one of the obviously
fumble.
the long run, and then you had the
Robinson fumble.
the Robinson fumble. Exactly. Thanks, DJ. And that's what got you to where you were. Great play by Jelani Tavai. But
Hmm.
I think I kind of want to give the defense a pass because they've played pretty well for 8 games, and for one game that they let us down, it's not like they let the offense down. The offense were just as bad. It's just that the defense kind of played to the offense's level, and this is the kind of performance you get when that happens. If your defense plays like your offense is doing, then
But this is
that's your
it comes
result.
back to what you said about Gonzalez and Judon Gon. There are 2 key factors on that D.
Exactly.
Where's the pass rush now? We don't have any pass rush, so no one's getting to the quarterback. Quarterback's got a million times of time to throw that ball where he wants. Then our cornerbacks, honestly, I don't think they're top tier guys. They're letting a lot of big plays go through up there, especially Brian and even Jack Jones. I think let a few massive passes go through right there. Jonathan Jones, okay-ish, but still, I just feel that sometimes, like you say, they've given up. Sometimes in parts of games, that's like we're breaking our balls here for the offense just to not do now.
And at the end, you look at it, and I think your point about Judon missing is a very good one. And the fact that we have no pass rush is absolutely true. When it comes to cornerbacks, having a shutdown, lockdown cornerback like Christian Gonzalez looks to be, like there's only a handful of those guys in the NFL, and everybody else after that are, it's kind of like the way I put it is there's less good cornerbacks in the NFL than there is wide receivers. Wide receivers are much more, they're easier to get and easier to find. There's probably about 5 to 7 top tier cornerbacks in the league. And my point being is that you get a guy like JC Jackson, who's really a number 2. That's where he should be, but he's playing up against the number 1 receiver. You get a guy like Jack Jones, who should be a number 4 effectively, because Jonathan Jones is your number 3 / your slot, your nickel corner. All of these guys then are being played out of position, and then you have the issue, and I'll shut up now in a while, of JC Jackson and Jack Jones apparently being benched for some disciplinary issues, which I am all for if they did something wrong, but by the looks of it, they did. They didn't want to talk about it after the game, and the problem with the 2 of those guys is that this is not something new for them, in terms of that this is not their first or second strikes in terms of disciplinary issues. I'm making a bit of a leap that it's disciplinary, but they weren't. I think was it JC was out for the first 2 series, and then Jack Jones came in the 3rd series, I think, or the 4th series, something like that. They were benched, and Sean Wade was effectively starting, and then poor Sean Wade didn't play for the rest of the game because the guys had been benched. Whatever reason it is, they'd been benched. They're like Bill Belichick can spin it whatever way he wants. They were benched. I can only assume it was for disciplinary reasons.
We had Miles Bryant start. We had Miles Bryant starting at corner. I mean, that's a sackable offense in itself.
Yeah, I mean, poor Miles Bryant. Like, he's there as a safety / nickel / cornerback, just a guy that in a pinch he should be able to play for you. You know, you go into a dime package, he's the guy that you bring on. He's not somebody that should be playing in base defense. He's not somebody that should be playing even in nickel coverage. That's not a shot at him. It's just it's his abilities. That's not what he's there for. He's there for a guy that if we're stuck in coverage, if you put Miles Bryant out there, he's probably just as good. His level is probably just as good covering a slot receiver, an outside wide receiver, and a tight end. He can kind of do a passable job at all three. He isn't going to cover, your a number one receiver. He's not, but that's why you have guys like JC Jackson and Jack Jones. That's what they're supposed to do. But anyway, I've talked a lot of words.
Go on,
Yeah,
Nick.
and Nick, sorry, yeah, Nick, you've just said something there in the chat to us.
It's all right. It's all right. When you said about Duggar having a good game, I think the other guy who deserves some credit, a very dim light in a very dark room. I believe Christian Barmore deserves some credit as well, because he had 8 QB pressures and batted the ball down on 2 separate occasions. So, him and Duggar and White, they're all contributing when they can. And I think, there are these little glimmers on the D side that I do. But it's like Luke says, if you're constantly on the field and you're constantly having to defend, you're going to get numbers, and sometimes they're not going to work in your favor. So, I don't think the players are down in tools. I don't think it's a case of there being no desire and no effort. It's just whatever they're trying to do is just not working.
No, it's certainly not working. Right, let's address the massive issue that we saw in this game, okay? So, Mac Jones, 24-44, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I'm going to vacate this for Mac Jones, okay? The interception was not his fault. That was, once again, Juju Smith-Schuster coughing up the ball at the worst possible time. I remember Juju Smith-Schuster doing the same thing when he was at Pittsburgh Steelers in the game against the Saints back in 2018, where he coughed up the ball at the end at the worst possible time, and it literally ended their playoff hopes. But anyway.
He's better playing at Fortnite than bloody catching a ball at this rate.
But I mean, the thing is that he had a great catch there. The play before
For that, yeah.
a fantastic catch, and he actually probably had as good a game as he's had for the Patriots this game.
6 receptions, 51 yards.
Yeah.
Did.
This is another thing, yeah. Washington, they don't have. Okay, they do have a top tier wide receiver core, but I wouldn't say not best, but
they have McLaurin.
Terry,
that's about it.
Yeah, Scary Terry. He seemed to be open whenever Howell wanted him to be open.
Mm-hmm.
This is a factor that we don't have. We don't have that WR1. Why did we bring in Hopkins? Paying the man an extra $3 million and bring in Hopkins.
No comment.
No, Nick, the floor is yours.
No comment.
If he gets 11,000 yards, Nick, you owe me an apology.
The thing is, he wouldn't get that in this team. He wouldn't, because it's not good. It's one player doesn't make. The saying goes, one swallow doesn't make the summer.
In this offense,
touchdowns the other day.
In this
I don't
offense,
think he would though.
You won the game.
I don't think he would. In this, you put him in this offense. What are you going to get? Teams double manning him, and he won't get the numbers that he's getting at Tennessee. He'd constantly be injured, from carrying all that money.
Well, I was kind of with you there for a second, Nick, and I know you're completely trolling me because it's DeAndre Hopkins is very close to my heart. But just to go back on that, I actually agree with your point on if he came here, what good would it do? Because the rest of the team is really kind of poor, really. Like the rest of the offense needs to be fixed. I agree with that point. He would probably take you out of the quarterback draft conversation because he might have been good for getting you a win or two. He is playing with arguably a worse complement of receivers in Tennessee. So he is getting doubled already in Tennessee. I mean, the guys playing with him is Nick Westbrook-Ikhine and hold please.
Can't remember the other guy.
Treylon Burks, something called a Colton Dowell, and Kyle Phillips, Chris Moore. Now, at least our guys have names and name brands, and it's not like they have tight ends. It's Okonkwo, Raider, Wesco, and Weil. So they're basically he's playing with even less there, and he's still putting up numbers. So I think he would have helped us. I would be with you though in that. So what? We win a few extra games, and we're still the ugliest guy or girl at the dance. What good would it have been to go 4 and maths 13 rather than 2 and 15? Because you're really only just going to put yourself out of the draft position anyway. And he's only missed 1 game this year.
I'll tell you one outstanding player though is we've got a fucking good wide receiver if we can develop him well. Is Douglas. To me, he's going to be outstanding. If we can continue to develop him, he's going to be a WR1. He's just not quite there yet. He's a rookie. He's just coming. What is he? 6th round from Libby?
Yep, 6th round from Libby. Yeah.
Can't ask much more from a kid.
Yeah, I think
he's Matt's go-to guy now at the moment. I mean, for God's sake, that tells you that much about all the others.
I think he's one of the few guys that has a bit of burst, and there's a bit of speed there, and he offers something slightly different. There's a bit of shiftiness there. I think the rest of the players, the wide receivers, Parker is slow. Juju is slow. Bourne wasn't exactly lightning either, but he was still, I suppose, a good player in that sense.
He was elusive. He can be
elusive. Yeah. Thornton is good in a straight line. I think if you watch some of it, anytime he tries to break.
Can I just ask an opinion? Can I ask just a nice opinion on you guys? Do you reckon Tyquan Thornton is the modern day version of who's the Bengals receiver that got drafted? John Ross. Ross.
At least John Ross could return kicks.
Yeah. He reminds me of a bit of a Nicole Hardman, this lad. Thornton.
Nicole Hardman has had
Nicole Hardman can actually run a good comeback route.
He can only go straight.
Yeah, but he can go straight. But I've yet to see Thornton even do well going straight down the field.
Nicole Hardman ran jet sweeps at the Chiefs. Yeah. Why not just do it with Thornton? We ain't got good blocking schemes, have we?
He's only about 150 pounds, and has proven to be injury prone already. He would be absolutely destroyed in a jet sweep.
He weighs £5 more than me. That's not saying much.
I wished I only weighed £5 more than you.
Yeah, it's not good. Jalen Reagor. Okay.
Some of us aren't built to be wide receivers, thank you.
Yeah.
Some of us are built to protect.
I mean, I don't care how young and fit or old and unfit you are. Most people can run a comeback route. What Thornton done was just show you. The question I want to say is, what is Troy Brown teaching the receivers? because he's our wide receivers coach.
Yeah, it's not been a good reflection on him really. The last few years in terms of development. But then as well at the same time, one of the best players the Patriots have developed over the last 2 years is Jacoby Myers, and you could point him and go, there's a great player that Troy Brown has had a hand in developing, and we got rid of him.
Which was stupid. Same amount of money for Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep.
He would have helped it. He probably would have won us maybe 2, maybe 3 more games maybe with him, just to help. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
Goes back to the point that Luke said. About Andre Hopkins. You win too many games. It takes you out the equation for. We are bad. We are really, really bad. So you might as well embrace the tank, and accept that you don't want to win any more games. I mean, I'm amazed we're 2-2 in the division. To be fair, our only 2 wins have come in the division, and we haven't played the Jets twice. But I think you're now at the point that you don't want to win any more games, because all you're going to do is make yourself worse. It's going to really hurt if I sit there and watch the Bears take both Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams. That'll really upset me. And that could well happen, and that'll just be depressing. So I don't want to go winning any more games.
No, it's funny. I don't know about you. I sit there when I'm watching the game, and in isolation, in a vacuum, I want us to win that particular game. And then the game's over, and I look at our record, and I want our record to be as low as possible. As few wins as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm playing. I want them to catch every ball, make every tackle, make every interception, sack the quarterback, all that kind of stuff. Want us to win the game, and then the game's over, and then I go, okay, well at least we lost that one. At least we're one step closer. Do you know? I don't know. Is that happened for you? I don't know. That's how I'm watching the games at the moment.
As you said, you play competitively, but you still lose.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
It just gets to the point now where you actually want to lose because you want to do well in the draft. You want to be that top 3 pick. And
from
if
Monday
to play
to
like the way
Saturday,
we
I
do,
want us to lose.
Might as well lose.
Yeah, from Monday to Saturday, I want us to lose. On Sunday, I'm like, let's go get this.
Is there any chance we can all agree that we want to win this weekend? I want to see a win.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
at least win this weekend?
Around the horn, who's actually seen the Patriots play live?
Yeah,
I've been twice.
Twice.
They've both lost.
It'll be my first time, so I want a win. Otherwise, it'll be bitterly disappointing. It will be bitterly disappointing. So
it's going to be tough though. They have the quarterback advantage.
Yeah.
So.
They've got the
And
quarterback.
running back.
Paul mustache, yes, I know. Gardner Minshew. But we'll talk a little bit about the Colts game on Saturday's show, which, if anybody's watching and listening, this Saturday we will be in Frankfurt, obviously, for the Patriots Colts game. Saturday morning, German time. I'm not entirely sure. Probably about 10:10 German time. We will be doing a live show here on YouTube for a preview of the Colts game as well, and it will be for the first time ever. All 4 of us will be in the same room, so there's going to be a lot of shenanigans going around, and we might even do maybe Week 10 picks, because we don't really do that on the show. It talks about us and how we just drown our sorrows. Well, most of it anyway. Anything else you want to bring up forward about this game, guys? Because one last thing I'll say is, okay, I didn't realise this until I heard Tom Curran's podcast earlier on today. Ron Rivera's 3-0 against Bill Belichick. Now 4-0 against Bill Belichick. I didn't know about that stat until I listened to his podcast this morning. It was and as what I know, Luke, you want to turn around and say you want to give the defense a pass, try and defend what happened then, because basically when the Commanders went 9 of 17 on third down, one of the plays I was watching the highlights and I saw this and I was fuming. I was literally swearing. I was in the canteen at the time at work. Third and 23, and we let Sam Howell not just get the first down, but scramble and run for a first down. Defend the defense on that, because that was shocking tackling.
There's nothing to defend. They played a bad game. It's just that I can't be mad at them for playing a bad game. You know, eventually you're going to play a bad game when your offense is literally not holding up their end of the bargain. You know, there's nothing to defend. They should have tackled him. It's a terrible play. Anybody involved or on the field shouldn't have let that happen, but they did. And all I'm saying is, you know, it was a bad game for them.
I know
and I agree, and I 100% on board with your frustration.
I know.
I agree.
I think they went back too far and just they didn't realise that he could actually scramble and make a run for it, and then he missed 1, 2 tackles, 3, 4, and then he actually extended the play by getting the first down. I was like, wow.
He would have done.
How do we allow that? How?
It's scheming and poor defense. I mean, you've got to throw some of the blame. Well, apparently Belicheck is the head coach and the DC, but you could also put the blame on his son for that as well, because he technically has been part of the defensive coordinator position. I just wish Jared Mayo. Well. He needs to go. Jared Mayo. I remember. I think it was either last year or 2 years ago. Halfway through the season, I think it was Steve Belichick that took hold of the defensive play calls, and you see the defense not quite there. Then Jared Mayo took over for about 6 or 7 games, and the defense started playing lights out. And then it went back to Steve Belichick again. So I got absolutely no idea what the hell you're doing with that. Jared Mayo can easily do a better job. But
the problem you have is I'm not going to limit it to just the defense or the offense. I think it's on both sides of the ball. The problem you have is that mistakes are being made, and I can get behind someone making a mistake. Someone, nobody's perfect. I make as many mistakes as the next guy, but you try and learn from them, and it just seems to be every game it's the same mistakes. The offense are making the same mistakes. The defense are making the same mistakes. And it's just one game after another game after another game. And, at what point, and you've just talked about coaches and you're talking about Troy Brown and at what point do these coaches see these mistakes being made in game 2 and then go, oh, we need to fix that. And then in game 3, the same mistakes happen. Oh, well, we need to fix that. Well, why didn't you fix that last week when you fixed the last one? It just seems to be that it's the same old mistake coming in, game out. And
it's the
like
same,
you said, what are they doing during the week?
It's the same post-game response from Belichick as we need to do things better. You've been saying this now for the last 5, 6, pretty much since the start of the season. Nothing's changed. It's the same.
What was it, after game 3 or game 4? It was like, right, we're going back to basics, going back to right. So what does that entail? Oh well, we're not going to tell you. Right,
no, going back to the 70s.
That's very helpful.
Going back to the 70s when we played like absolute utter dog shit. That's probably what means going back to basics. Going back to the 70s. It's just frustrating. We've kind of left Mac Jones literally right to the end here. So 24-44. He made some good passes, but he also the fourth down on our first drive, which we had to turn over on downs. That was such a shocking throw. I think that was to Farron Brown, I think it was, and he completely and utterly overshot him. Those are the sort of layup passes you've got to make in your sleep, regardless if you're a rookie quarterback or you've been in an organisation for a few years now. It just wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know if Thornton I think he was going to go to Thornton. He either overthrew it or Thornton didn't run the way that he thought he was going to run at the right time. And it was just a bit of a miss thing, but it looked definitely it was a bit overthrown by Mac's side.
We're a poorly coached team, and we can't do anything right now.
Yeah.
It's just looking so bleak for us. The only crumb of comfort is, as we said, we embrace the tank, and that is we are still in the hunt for a top quarterback, maybe the best receiver. I think a lot of people will be extremely pissed off if we did end up drafting a tackle, but then again, the offensive line is still an issue, despite the fact it has improved over the last 3 games. I mean, that's mostly due to Michael Onwenu playing a right tackle, who, by the way, gave up 1 pressure all game. He had the top PFF grade among tackles, so that obviously seems to be working. But you have to look at it right now and say, we're devoid of talent at receiver. The quarterback is just too inconsistent. Things need to change. How many times have I repeated on this podcast for weeks and weeks now? We are devoid of talent, and we struggle to even do the basics. We rely solely on the defensive side of the ball when the NFL has pivoted to the offense years and years and years ago. And it's thanks to all of this, Belichick just keeping an eye on the defense. He's neglected the offense, and look where we are right now. One of the worst teams to get separation. Worst team in yards per game. Second to worst team in points per game. I think we're averaging only something like 15.5 points a game.
Worst team in the AFC.
Worst team in the AFC.
That's where we are now. At the moment.
The ultimate shit bowl, the ultimate tank bowl will be after our bye week when we play the Giants, because they don't have a quarterback. The only way you can go here, I mean, someone said to me, as soon as you hit rock bottom, the only way you can go is up. There is more to go down this chasm. There is more to go. And I think Kraft may be on his last tether with Belichick. Because he promised the fans at the start of the season we're going to see a much better product. And so far, it's been shockingly bad.
There was the clip on the Fox broadcast that caught Jonathan and Robert talking.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody said that if you read Jonathan's lips, he says something like, "We are not good enough," and it's not acceptable. So,
yeah.
Which brings me to this rumor. I don't know if that's have you guys seen this rumor that broke from 2 reports? So I think it's Ben Violin, is that his name?
Stop right there. Time out.
What?
Anything that asshat Ben Volin actually says,
Wow.
you take with a small grain of salt. Because this guy is a troll. A total troll. So
Trolling Volin.
Trolling Volin. Thank you. That's why
That's
his
his nickname. That is actually his nickname, yeah.
Hold on, Luke.
Well, Luke's got a new face. So.
He's the Patriots version of Florio.
it's a good-looking face. That.
Jesus Christ, that's better.
Don't knock on Mike Florio. He actually gets a lot of his stuff right. But anyway.
No, but this rumour was bearing a miracle turnover. It seems increasingly likely that Bill Belichick will be at his last season as Patriots head coach. He might even be fired mid-season if the team does go 2-8, which is in the next Colts game. Patriots organisation have independently said that the Kraft's home run choice to succeed Bill Belichick is current Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, and the home run choice to run this organisation will be the Texans GM Nick Caserio.
So how do they? So let's break it down.
Now, I've seen this all day. I saw this break last night, but I've seen it multiple times.
Let's break this rubbish down.
Rubbish.
So,
what?
It is because, I mean, First of all, I think everybody would unanimously say, anybody with knowledge of the team would unanimously say that Belichick is not going to get fired mid-season. Like, what are the chances of Belichick getting fired mid-season? You would then
Either he goes. Do you think he gives up and says, I'm done?
Nah.
in November.
Why would he walk away from the
Remember
mountain?
now, he's walking away from his sons on the team as well.
He can fucking take them with him.
Not saying that's not the question.
Back and
The
buy
question
this
is, would he leave and leave his sons mid-season? This is not just any other thing that he's leaving his sons mid-season.
Bill,
no is the answer.
Bill is not going to walk away from that job. Bill is not going to walk away.
No.
He's going to
He's
stay.
got
He's going to
20
stay
odd
there,
million.
and he's going to wait to the. Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. He's
He's
got
gonna
20
wait
odd
until
million
he's put.
reasons to stay.
Yeah.
So that's first bit of rubbish debunked, right? Second of all, Mike Vrabel. I think that is actually not that bad a shout, but it's also nothing new. I think everybody has been talking about this since before even his Hall of Fame induction with the Patriots, and everybody was like, "Look how pally him and Vrabel."
He's on the hot seat at the Titans anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
he's on the hot seat at the Titans anyway.
Exactly. It's probably the only thing that in there isn't wrong. Also, so third part, Nick Caserio from the Texans. Now, why? First of all, Nick Caserio's in a job with the Texans. He is their current GM. He's also doing a pretty bang-up job ever since he got rid of God boy down there. What's his name?
Jack.
DeMarco,
Yeah.
right? Is it?
D'Amico Ryan.
DeMarco Ryan.
No. Jack.
No.
The former Patriots.
I know what you mean. Jack.
We'll call him President Jack Tunney.
Call him Jack. Call him Jack.
Yeah,
we'll call him back. Jack Easterby.
Jack Easterby. That's it.
Yes, that's it. Thanks, Carl. So once he got rid of Jack Easterby and has actually properly had control of the team, he's been doing a fantastic job, and he's just gotten. So you've got that right. So let's say you want to trade for Nick Caserio, and Nick Caserio goes, and the Texans go, yeah, okay, give us a first for him. He's doing a fantastic job. Second of all, why is Nick Caserio, with CJ Stroud and a fairly decent offensive line, a really good rookie head coach who looks very strong and has the utmost respect to the players because everybody seems to love him. Why would he go back to the Patriots?
Money.
It's
And
just
start again. So it's just like Bolin is known for just making stuff up, and there you go. There's 1, 2, and 3 reasons why he's just making stuff up as usual.
yeah. The only thing with Nick Caserio would be what Deidre just said. If it's more money, I mean, he might do, but I just find it. No, I find it would debunk the theory. But we spoke about this last week, didn't we, guys? With the rumor come out saying that apparently the Commanders in the off season they may try and trade for Bill Belichick in the off season. Now, I mean, if it continues the way it's going, I would say, yeah, absolutely. But you have to give up a first-round pick for Bill Belichick because there's no way we're going to accept anything less. And it will only be a mid-round pick.
Oh, I don't know. I might take.
Go on, Nick.
I was gonna say I'd probably take a packet of Chris and a Kit Kat for him right now.
Wow.
Not a normal Kit Kat, a proper chunky Kit Kat. Not a normal one, a proper chunky.
2 seconds.
A packet of Chris and a Kit Kat.
Are we talking salted caramel?
I was just saying, what would you trade Bill for? And I said I'd trade him for a packet of Chris and a Kit Kat.
Would have to be a salted caramel Kit Kat chunky.
I'm not too worried on the flip. Providing it's a Kit Kat chunky, I would trade Bill Belichick for a packet of Chris and a Kit Kat.
Because let's just say if the Commanders did decide they trade for Belichick, and it is a first round pick. Where is Washington going to like it to be? Around about 10th, 11th? If they
Yeah, I
are
was
going
going
to
to
be
say somewhere between 8 and 12.
still get okay. MJH is probably out the door. Probably gone to the Bears, if you could say so. But there are still receivers out there that are still extremely promising. Plus, there is a tight end who is very, very is basically keeping an eye on everyone in the NCAA. And yes, he's currently injured right now.
Injured.
But Brock
Patriots.
Bowers,
Powers.
we're struggling at the tight end. Hunter Henry, unfortunately, looks like has regressed badly. Gesicki, not seen enough of him. Jono Smith was an
Both free
absolute
agents.
Sorry?
Both free agents. Henry and Gesicki are free agents.
Both free agents, so we do need to get better at the tight end position. And I think if you did this, this is only hindsight is a wonderful thing. But if you got the first round pick off Washington, you could use that to go and get someone like a Brock Bowers or another receiver. Because if the next GM that comes in, if Belichick leaves as well, if the next GM comes in, Kraft will just go to him and go, your job in this draft is to draft offensively. Forget defensively, because we're kind of solid there. We just need the offense to give the defense a break. That's what the defense just needs. It just needs a break. And if the offense can actually bleed the clock, because what did I see earlier on today? I think it was something like the Washington Commanders. I think it was like, what was it, 37 minutes of clock that they had? When was the last time New England actually won the ball possession, the time possession battle? When was the last time we done that?
You can't with the quarterback we have. He'll throw an interception if he has to hold on to the ball that long.
That's why I think there's more needs than it. I know I like the kid at tight end, but I just think there's probably more needs elsewhere than getting a tight end at the moment. Either we address the QB situation, or you just don't pick up Max fifth, let him run for a year, get someone else behind him. Someone like, I don't know, Daniels, LSU guy.
Didn't play that guy against Alabama this weekend.
Penix is his name?
Penix.
Washington guy?
Awesome kid.
Do you remember?
Second.
Do you remember before Matt Jones fell to us in the draft? Obviously, the plan had been that Bill was going to go elsewhere, and then he was going to draft his QB later on in the rounds. Can anyone remember who his second QB target was?
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills at Houston, Texas.
Still,
who will probably be available. It would not surprise me if Bill went and got Davis Mills.
He's just the modern day version of Mike Glennon.
better than what we're watching at the moment.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Find out if Mike Lennon's available.
I'd take Fitz Magic right now. I'd take a retired Fitz Magic right now.
He can throw the ball further than 10 yards anyway.
Yeah, he can do. It's just a shocking display. But we move on to our next game, and it is, of course, the game in Frankfurt. Pats versus the Colts. We will have a little bit more of a preview on that game on Saturday when we go live. But let's have a little bit of a relaxing 10 minutes or so, guys, because we're going to talk about, obviously, we're all going to Frankfurt for the first time. We're going to be meeting each other. We're all super excited to finally, at long last, meet the podcast crew, and I would say get completely and utterly trolleyed, because that is more than likely going to happen. What is it? I'm taking it everyone is looking forward to it. Is everyone looking forward to it?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe I'm still going. Yeah, delighted. I'm not gonna let I'm not going to let the Patriots ruin it, regardless of what the result is. I hope they win, but if they don't win, they don't win. But no, weekend away, have some fun, have a good time, and watch a game of football.
Yep. Exactly.
100%.
Yep, definitely. It's going to be an exciting time. I think we're all going to feel quite sorrow and upset with the way our team's going, but I think as soon as we wake up on Sunday morning, come game day, it's either we're going to be feeling a dread of guilt, or we're going to be have that adrenaline rush when we know that we're seeing the Patriots play, and we've got to, as fans, give as much support as we possibly can.
Be a Henrik.
Be a Henrik. That is exactly
100%.
what we've got to be a Henrik.
100%. Yeah. I am going to be
suited and booted, geared up.
Yeah, exactly.
Go for
Wearing
it.
every bit of Patriots gear you have.
Then, because I'm pretty sure that the Patriots Pro Shop is probably going to be in Frankfurt. There's going to be a couple of stalls there. Which one of you is wearing the suit? Because they probably would have a suit. If you've watched the draft, if you've watched the NFL draft, you'll see a lot of fan base wearing full gear suit of their actual team.
That'd be cool.
No, you're right.
Nah. So the stadium, is it going to be covered, is it?
It'll be covered. I didn't realise it. I didn't realise
me neither.
I have a funny feeling, though, where we're seating, corner like that, I think it's open at the back, though, isn't it?
It is,
Because I was watching the game and I could see all the side panels were open. I was like, yeah, we're going to be right in the corner there. Wind's
going to be lashed on.
I don't.
It works. The roof works like a fan. So there's like a V section that's constantly closed, and then the rest of it opens out and fans close like that. So when you open the roof, there's only a small V section that stays closed because it all fans underneath it. But then when the roof closes, it just fans out and closes bit after bit after bit after bit. So, but apparently the roof's going to be closed. Roof was closed this weekend. And it's going to be closed next weekend. But like DJ said, at the top, the sides are open, so the wind and the wind can still get in and whatever else. So
the atmosphere watching that Chiefs Dolphins game looked absolutely incredible. It did look like a de facto Chiefs home game. There was a sea of red pretty much everywhere. There might be a sea of blue all around on.
No, I think they're a bit more Patriots.
That's what I mean. Well, Navy.
Well, both teams playing blue, so you're going to see some blue, aren't you?
Blue.
Yeah, it's going to be Patriots because they're
massive
heavily invested in Germany as well, and also a more followed team, I would say, in general across Europe, because I think the Americans think that when it's the UK game or any of the London games, that only English fans go to the game, and when it's Germany, only German fans go to the game. You used to it's like those UK fans or those German fans, or and you're like, that's not how it works. There's people coming from all around Europe to these games.
We've all been to a lot of the UK games, but I've seen American, Canadian, German, Spanish. A couple of one of my very, very good friends, Chrissy, is a 49ers fan. She's part Italian, so the whole NFL landscape regarding of population and the actual fans, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Hence the fact why it's going to get increased now. Next year, there's going to be another city going to be hosting. I believe it's more than likely going to be Spain, because obviously the Santiago Bernabeu, has now got its it's now got an underfloor pitch, which is retractable.
Yeah.
So possibly of that. There's also could be one held in Brazil as well. I'm gonna guess Rio de Janeiro at their main big stadium, the 90,000 capacity. But we'll have to see about that. But anyway, regarding Frankfurt, it's gonna be an amazing trip. I'm gonna be with an amazing people. And for anyone else who is keeping an eye on us. I'll be flying out of Heathrow. Nick's flying out of Manchester. Luke is flying out of Dublin. And of course, DJ is flying out. What are you shaking your head for, Luke?
Because I hate Dublin.
Where are you flying out from?
So are you flying out of Dublin, or do you actually?
Yeah, I have to fly out of Dublin.
He's flying out.
You look so depressed by just saying that.
It's a kid.
And DJ's obviously flying out from.
DJ's
Gibraltar.
flying out of a crate off a rock.
He's
No,
flying
I'm
out.
flying out from Malaga, not
Flying-
Jib.
What they do is in Gibraltar is that they tie some styrofoam to
Yeah,
you
the story.
and they push you off the rock. And you just
You got to
float.
flap yourself.
And you,
I would have thought he would have just
I
come out.
love hearing these stories live, I'm telling you.
I thought he would have just come out of the cave like you see Thunderbirds, like Thunderbird 1 coming out.
yeah,
of the
exactly.
I
yeah.
thought he was.
That's how we take off. Yeah.
Anyway, we're
You
going
have to circle the rock, though. That's true. If we can't land.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. Thank you to everyone that's watched. Thank you to everyone that has listened on the podcast. Please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Tell all your friends. Well, we still suck. We're 2-7, but now we move on to the Indianapolis Colts. Make sure you follow our podcast on Spotify as well, and don't forget this Saturday we'll have a bit more of a time later on in the week. But all 4 of us will be in the same room doing a live show for the Patriots Colts game preview. So thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you to everyone that's watched. And yeah,
Onwards and
embrace the
upwards.
tank. Embrace the tank.